Type of setting that we have in Bitbucket is repository setting. Move to projects. So we have created a project integration, and we have already so created a repository retail. Here we have repository settings. First we can see there are repository details, where we can delete a repository, move a repository, change the name of the repository, enter description, and can change all other basic details. The other setting that we have in repository is repository permission. Well, we have project permission, here we have repository permission. Well, we can restrict the permission of a repository to a particular user and also to a particular group. Here we have option of public access. If I make it enable, then all the users without a Bitbucket account can clone and look into this repository. Here we have two options, user access and group access, where all the users in the group will get the access whatever the role they have been assigned for this particular repository. Here we have three roles in this repository: read, write, and admin. If I provide a read role to some user or to the group, then those users can clone and fork that particular repository. While if I provide the write access, then those users can also push into the repository. Provide the admin access, then they can get all the activities permitted by read and write access and also can change the settings for the repository. Let's add a user. Provide write access to the particular user. Click on add. So I can see that my user is added and a write access being assigned to that particular user. Another option that we have is branch permissions. Here we have already set a branch permission at project level. We can also set branch permission at repository level. So we have the same three options: the branch name, the branch pattern, the branching model, and also the same restrictions that we have in project. Let's say I'll put a restriction on branch name master, prevent deletion, except the user that I have my restriction being added to this particular branch master, except for the user Paul Hamming. Then we have push log. Well, track every push to a specific branch, even the deleted ones in the repository. Well, the push log will track all the push actions that has been performed on a particular repository. They are related to branch also. So we can see that for different branches we have different push options that's been executed, and those options can be tracked using the push log. Another we have the audit log. Well, audit log have all the logs related to the repository. Another thing that we have in the repository setting is branching model. Well, similar to the branching model that we have discussed in project settings, we have branching models in repository settings as well. So here we can see project settings. They are inherited from the project settings, the branching model settings. Where for development, we use default branch name. For production, there is no production branch. Or we can also create our custom settings. Now we have also seen the branch prefixes that we have for the different types of branch. For the bug fix, we have bug fix slash feature slash hotfix release. And the same we have for the automatic merging. Well, another setting that we have is the hooks. Well, hooks have also the same setting option as we have in the project settings. So we can see that we have option of reject force push, where the user is not allowed to force push into the repository. We also have option of verify commit signature and verify committer, where a user is always need to verify the signature before pushing some changes into the repository. Here in this we have option for inherited enabled. That means the settings being inherited from the project setting, or we can enable it for the particular repository, or we can disable it. So if I click on disable, then it won't inherit that setting from the project. Well, this is a custom setting for this particular repository. Reject force push is disabled for this particular repository. Another thing that we have is merge checks. Well, also the merge checks that we have in project settings, we have merge checks in repository settings. We have the same type of settings in merge checks. All reverse approve. Here we can choose inherited, enabled, disabled. We have minimum approval, minimum successful builds, no need work status, no incomplete tasks. We mostly inherit the project settings into our repository settings. Then we have merge strategies. Well, these are also the similar properties that we have seen in the project settings. We have the same settings as merge commit, fast forward, where we have fast forward only, rebase and merge, and we have rebase and fast forward. We have squash and fast forward only. So these are some of the settings that we already have in project settings. Another setting that we have is a default reviewer. Similarly, we have added the default reviewer at project level. We can add default reviewer at repository level. Let's say I've added a default reviewer and the approvals required as 1. So this default reviewer is being added for this particular repository. Another setting that we have is the auto decline. Well, the auto decline setting is also same as that we have defined in the project settings. It will auto decline the open pull request after some time.